Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review, episode number 89. This is discussing episodes 919 and 920. Excuse me. Yes, we're still doing the redub stuff. Well, basically dub episodes, basically of episodes I originally watched 3 years ago. No, seriously, 3 freaking years ago. Oh, and by the way, these two episodes, 919 finishes up 926. And in the case of 920, it pretty much goes through about half, but most of 927, except for the last 4 pages, and the first 2 pages of 928. In these episodes, we see the debut of Kuni, who is voiced by Corey J. Phillips. Yeah, he appears in 919. I'll get to the reason why he's here. We also have Soki. By the way, they're part of the Kashura family. He's voiced by David Garcico. This is just in 919, mind you. We also have Kaku, who is voiced by Alejandro Saab. If you're not exactly familiar with that name, maybe you're familiar with one of his most recent series working aside from this one. And that series being How Realist Hero Built the Kingdom. Yeah, this is the star of that series, voicing this relatively minor character of the series. We also debut in 919 of Haguro. Yes, Haguro the Flower. Yes, the old man who is like 71 years old and he's basically got a ripped body. Oh, he's voiced by Doug Jackson. Yep. We're gonna do some two guards. At least two guards and a warden. We have Ibarasutu. He's voiced by Spencer Lees. They actually don't have a credit for his sub actor for some reason. Same thing with Donito. He is also in these episodes. He's voiced by Don Tyndall. There's also Dobon, the vice warden, who is the power of a hippo. And in 220, we see the debut of quite possibly one of the best and developed characters of this whole arc, Taku. Along with Tama, these two are so well developed. And here's the strange thing. Oh, by the way, the one who voices her, the actress who voices her, her name is Kara Edwards. You're thinking, what has she done? Well, aside from this series, she's also the voice of Goten from Dragon Ball Z. And Videl. Yep. So yeah, aside from that, oh yeah, she also Karu from High School DxD. She voiced the character Eternal Feather from Solid or Not, and that's it. Not many series per se, but she does a great job voicing the character. Now, in the case of what happened in these 2 episodes, okay, let's start with Luffy, where him and Kid are basically just competing with each other who can basically get the most stuff. And they fill up a ship. And they're like, oh, stop, we're full. And they're like, and of course they're going to get more. They're like, you can't get any more. And he says, get in their ship. Right away. Yes, they're taking orders from 2 prisoners. Probably because they want to clean up the prison as quickly as possible. And there are a bunch of because basically Luffy can barely eat with a little dumpling that he's given. So he wants more because the guy gets a full stomach. And of course, Boss Haro basically doesn't like the fact that he worked all day and he only gets 1 dumpling. Yeah, he's not a fan of that at all. So he gets kicked by one of the guards. And then, of course, we have Diner show up where he's like, who ate my food? Yes, because apparently one of those dumplings available. So then we have Captain Kit and Luffy come out with all these dumplings, and they're so big, and he's like, "Give us a second to digest." And of course, take a deep breath, and they slim down. And they're like, "You can't hit him because you'll get executed if you hit him." So because of their power, basically, they can close his mouth basically, he has no control over his own devil fruit. So basically, they proceed to go inside of the hippo mouth, and of course, here's the thing: they can't punish for something no one can actually see. So while they're inside, They both Kid and Luffy proceed to beat the crap out of the Vice Warden, and he is like beaten up, and the guards basically like, "You're gonna be executed." It's like, really? You got any proof? No, I think they changed it for the dub, where I think that in the sub they mentioned, is there any witnesses to it? Nope. And like he did it to himself. And of course you have Luffy just picks up Boss Haru. He doesn't know he's actually a member of the Yakuza, does he? He does find out a little bit later. So then later on he does thank him for it, and of course he gives him some coupons, and he goes off, and of course you have Renzo basically pops up in prison, who stops by there to let know Luffy about him get the possibly like he found where the key is. This actually will be something for Luffy be in the prison. This actually take up a good chunk of Act 2 of the series. Yes. Now here's also something quite interesting though. Apparently, I think it was like 9:19. I think it was. They said that this episode started off Act 2, which is interesting, even though they kind of did it with the end of the previous episode. Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. And if you're curious how long these acts are, well, the second act starts chapter 925, which is basically where we start off these episodes, and it concludes not for quite a while. Yes. So basically, Act 3, Act 2 does not conclude until episode 956. Not for a little bit. So yeah, we're going to be here for a little while. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But there's not really much else to say about these episodes. They're both really. Wait, scratch it. There's still more to talk about here. I forgot to mention. So, and of course, that episode that came with Luffy. I just said with Luffy. So, Zoro was not seen here. Nami is seen with Shinobu, where she basically runs away from seeing. Of course, Shinobu's seeing a sharp object. They run away, and of course, Shinobu reveals that she's very sharp objects. And that's it. Then we also see Sanji, Robin, Frankie, and Usopp we have Sanji cooking soba, and you have the other three eating it. And of course, there's a long snake-like line with ladies for the soba. This goes on for quite a while until, of course, they're interrupted by, well, those three guys. That first three guys I mentioned, which were Koni, Soke, and Kaku. Yes, these three basically took the business, and of course, Sanji didn't like it very much. The fact they knew ruined his soba, so he proceeds to take the noodles that fell on the ground and stuff one of the guy's mouths. And of course takes money from him as payment. Oh yeah, and also they souls were introduced to Taku in episode 920. They of course knocked the ball out of her hand, and Sanji, as an apology for basically not being food for, he makes her a brand new bowl, eats it, and of course he has to go because apparently she works for the courtesan. And just by sheer coincidence, of course, you have Robert mentioning some stuff that Usopp and Frankie are I think it's Frankie and Sanji are interested in what the heck these are. So, lucky enough, Robin's boss shows up explaining what is going on. Basically, Otaku is the assistant to the courtesan. That's basically her job. And she's like, really, for work? Yeah, so... And of course, we're going to see her later. Oh, don't worry, we will. We do see her briefly in the kind of the start of this. Yep. Excuse me. Let's see. Was there anything else? No Brooke this episode. No, not really. There's a brief appearance in these episodes of Otama. Yep, she's briefly seen. She's working with her master. And some of the Minks are there to heal her injuries. So what her horse Lena is. And that's it for Otama for these 2 episodes. She doesn't do very much. Don't worry, she will. She's a big character in this arc, don't worry. Anything else? No, not really. I think that's pretty much it to talk about here that I can think of. Yeah, that's all I can think of to talk about these 2 episodes, because it's interesting to know that only Zoro and Brooke are absent for these episodes. Everyone else is here now. You might be thinking, where's Jinbei? Hasn't shown up yet. He doesn't show up until Act 4 of this arc, when they participate in the actual raid they're actually building up toward. So we got a lot of building here. So we get a lot of building for some stuff later, which definitely good for. And of course, Robin is summoned to the palace, but that is set up for some episodes here. So one thing you gotta love with this arc is its build up, basically for certain events. Yep. But yeah, that's pretty much all I could think of that happened this episode. Off the top of my head. So yeah, that's it. Particular view. Next up is the Comic Corner. Okay, next video. Bye.